Hello everyone, welcome to the classroom. Thank you for joining us as always. Today we will be ranking every single Justice League film. And once again, thank you for joining us as always. Now I want to get right down to business pretty quickly. If I waste too much time like I usually do in the first couple minutes, I'll be editing this video all day. And I want to go look at the turtles at PetSmart. For anyone somehow unaware, the Justice League is a team made up of superheroes from DC Comics, usually at least Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Green Lantern, and Aquaman. I counted 14 Justice League movies in total, and like 5 that I'm glad they made. So let's get right into it. At number 14, our absolute worst Justice League film of all time, Justice League of America. Now, I have not seen this movie. I could not find it on any website, which didn't lie to me about the number of slutty grandmas in my area. So this is more of an honorable,
or in this case, dishonorable
mention. This documentary-style TV special was meant to kick off a Justice League of America series. The film looks like this, so it's easy to see why it wasn't received great. But these are going to move pretty quickly, so let me just leave you with a quote from longtime JLA writer Mark Waid. 80 minutes of my life, I'll never get back. Beautifully put. Number 13 is Justice League, Throne of Atlantis. Now this movie is our first in the DC animated movie universe, which has recently gone out in actually pretty fun fashion, but we will talk about that more later. Throne of Atlantis, while not being a good movie, is actually pretty damn indicative of how the rest of these DCAU films feel, especially at their worst. The writing is awful, the plot is painfully slow, and the voice acting is nothing to write home about. But the powers are fun, the bitches are bad, and it actually has some really funny jokes.
All this was my doing. With Orm's mommy issues and sense of entitlement, coaxing him into war was child's play. Frankly, he irks the shit out of me.
There's some little world-building cameos and Easter eggs, there's an extended one from a future Steel, aka John Henry. There is an awful romance subplot between Superman and Wonder Woman. But the biggest issue with this movie is that Arthur Curry, aka Aquaman, is just so fucking terribly boring. And they know he is, because after this movie, I think Aquaman maybe has a whole paragraph of dialogue in the rest of the films. I really liked this film when it came out. You're not smart at 17, guys. Justice League 2017 is one of the most soulless films I've ever seen in my life. Besides the fact that it's a color-corrected, CGI-saturated nightmare, some of the actors literally do not have a soul. I mean, really one of the worst things about this film is that there's just not too much to say about it. The plot is generic, the jokes are truly weed and tear, and it is just a truly ugly fucking movie. From the sets, to the costumes, to the soulless eyes of Ezra Miller. Justice League War is the first movie on this list that I would consider to be alright instead of just outright bad. This film kicked off the new DCAU, and it sucks that they chose such a mediocre movie to start it off. There are some alright jokes, mainly from Justin Kirk, who plays Green Lantern, but this movie is focused very heavily on Cyborg, and they just never really make him compelling in the DCAU films to me. They kinda got rid of his juvenile attitude since they put him on the League instead of the Teen Titans, but they don't replace it with anything, so he's just boring. Well, next up is Zack Snyder's Justice League. I know that this is pretty low, and that is because I don't like this movie, but luckily Snyder fans are pretty chill. So chill, in fact, that they got a movie studio to release a 4-hour sepia-toned slog filmed on the dimensions of a postage stamp. This movie is pretty okay, all things considered. I really do not like Snyder's art, but at least this definitely is art. Say what you will about Zack's films. Lord knows I have. But the reason why this is not dead last, even though minute by minute it probably is my least favorite movie, is that at least Zack Snyder has a creative vision. I really dislike the tone, plot, dialogue, even the color grading, but at least these choices weren't just made to make a completely neutral movie that will make the least amount of people mad as scientifically possible, like the 2017 version. Justice League Dark started off really strong, but really kind of petered off. I loved seeing the darker side to the DCAU, including a woman trying to commit a murder-suicide with her baby because she thinks it's the Antichrist. It's dark without being overly edgy in the first act, and it also gives you a really cool look at a lot of lesser-known DC characters. Like, the final battle is with Felix Faust. You don't know who that is. But this movie does jack off Batman pretty aggressively. I love Batman, but I really hate it when the thesis of a Justice League story is Batman is the best one here. And that happens just a few too many times in this movie. Justice League Doom is about the Legion of Doom acquiring Batman's secret plans to take out the League if he needs to, and then adding murder to them. The first act is great, and after that, it is one of the least memorable DC things I have ever seen. So just stop after this line.
Alfred, get the Batwing ready. The Justice League is under attack.
By whom?
By me!
Apocalypse War was the send-off for this version of the DCAU. It's kind of like if Endgame was a little more subversive and a lot more not very good. This movie takes place 2 years after Darkseid has killed most of Earth and the heroes on it, and, like, not a Thanos snap. Like, they're fucking dead. A lot of characters get really good send-offs, and I especially liked the roles of Damian Wayne and Clark Kent in the story. I won't spoil anything because it's actually really fucking cool, but the middle act is a really big slog, like a lot of these ones in the middle. Justice League versus Teen Titans should be able to be sued for false advertising. This movie is a real mixed bag. The Titans are fun. I especially like the dynamic and romance even between Robin and Raven. They have a lot more in common than her and Beast Boy, honestly. But also, they fight the Justice League for, like, seconds. I don't know, let's see, what else? I would do anything for Starfire. Nightwing too, frankly, goddamn. Damian can be pretty unlikable, but I've always loved him, and I especially loved my little shithead in this movie. He's kind of fucking awesome.
That's the difference between you and me. You wear a weapon. I am a weapon.
Now this line here that you're about to cross, this is where the movies get good. Justice League versus the Fatal Five was another mixed bag for me, because on the one hand, I love this version of the DCAU so much, and it was just so great to see the voice actors back and get to see more of the universe, and I did not plan to sound this happy during this. I'm like legitimately giddy thinking about it. However, the plot drags pretty heavily in the middle with a frustrating and kind of vague amnesia plotline, but the conclusions for the main characters, Jessica Cruz and Starboy, were really fantastic. Justice League Crisis on Two Earths is probably my favorite version ever of the oh my god, it's the evil versions of us trope. Except for Community.
Troy lost his larynx because for some dumb reason he tried to destroy a flaming troll doll by eating it.
Miss Worldwide!
The highlights of the movie for me are evil Italian Superman, so basically if Homelander was a person of color, and the incredible dynamic between Batman, played by William Baldwin, and Owlman, played by James Woods. Owlman is a great antagonist, not just for how amazingly sinister his lines are.
You're insane.
Does it really matter? There are alternate versions of me that you would find quite charming.
But because of how he sounds saying them. Now folks, I'll be real with you for a sec. Little look behind the screen. I was gonna make a little joke here, where I say, oh, this movie is so hard. Oh, I mean, it goes so hard. Haha, boner joke. But then I thought about it. Nah, this movie is just hard. I did not misspeak. This movie fucking rocks. Batman is awesome. The Reverse Flash is awesome. Everyone is 8 feet tall and has 2% body fat. I really like the Flashpoint Paradox. This movie kicked off the next phase of the DCAU. The same thing actually happened in the comics, and we're about to see the same thing again in live action. And if that movie is as good as this one, I will personally defend Ezra Miller on the stand. I don't know if that's how court works. My favorite part is the dynamic between the Flash and the Reverse Flash. Their final fight is awesome, the dialogue is great and super fun, and this film did a lot to show more people how much fun this evil evil monster can be. The final two of this list are very different, but that's the kind of stuff that I like more when it's stuff that I'm as familiar with as the Justice League. Gods and Monsters turns Batman into a fucking vampire, Superman is the son of General Zod, and Wonder Woman is a new god. The Trinity is the only part of the League in this movie, but they have plenty to cover as these are all entirely new characters. Like, Batman isn't even Bruce Wayne, which is kinda a lot of what I like about it. But if you're a big DC fan, I don't want to spoil who he really is, cause it's small, but I liked it a lot. This movie is a hard R. The Trinity are murdering, they're sucking, and I really like that here because these are different people than our usual Trinity. It's not like it's just Bruce Wayne, Clark Kent, and Diana Prince, who lived the exact same lives as usual, but then turned into evil psychopathic murderers. Like, it actually makes sense, and this movie is a big recommend for me, but now on to, in my opinion, the best Justice League film. Justice League: The New Frontier is an amazing film. It's based off of DC: The New Frontier, and this film has just a gorgeous golden age art style and is just dripping with joy and hope. It is just soaked in it, brother. The New Frontier is a celebration of old DC comics with amazing interpretations and appearances from all across their pantheon. My favorite League members in this are Wonder Woman and Batman. Batman actually takes more of a backseat in this film for once, which I really appreciated. I don't want to say much more because I recommend this film for anyone who enjoys DC Comics, but I will leave you with this. One of my favorite Batman moments of all time in anything.
And one other thing. I'm not sure what you are or where you come from, but my instincts tell me you're to be trusted. Make no mistake, though. I have a $70,000 sliver of radioactive meteor to stop the one from Metropolis. With you, all I need is a penny for a book of matches.
I love the Justice League, and I love a few of these movies. I was gonna say a lot there, I'm gonna be honest. I usually redo these when I have little like vocal flubs like that, but that was a pretty honest reaction to me realizing how I felt about most of these movies. Because I went through like a DC animated phase in like middle school, where like I watched a lot of them for the first time, and the good ones, of course, I was like, these are really good, I love these. And the bad ones, I was like, these are really good, I love these. Remember earlier, when I was 17, I liked the theatrical cut of Justice League. I didn't learn the difference between good movies and bad movies. I don't think I ever learned that, actually. I think I'm still kind of a smooth brain. But that is the video for this week, y'all. Thank you for joining us so much as always. I will see you next week. Bye. Hey everyone, thank you so much for watching that video as always, and if you made it to this point, an extra thank you. A double thank you, I think is what I usually say, but I don't script this part, so I usually like mess it up. But anyways, what I have to show off for my collection this week is DC versus Vampires. I might have shown this before, but I have more of a reason now than when I bought it. I'm bad at reading stuff right after I buy it, or even, oh my god, especially finishing it. But this book is pretty fucking fun. I like it a lot. And, you know, it's not that good. The dialogue, oh my god, it's bad at many times. And the overall, like, plot is, like, I really hate it. Like, I'm not joking. There's a specific reveal that I really hate so much. But this book is so fun. Like, I had such a good time reading it. Like, oh my god, it's so fun. And oh my god, they made Wonder Woman a vampire. And oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, I guess I have to, like, explain a little more why I'm talking about this than, oh my god, oh my god. But, super simple reason, it's very similar to Deceased, which is like DC versus zombies. So I think I'm going to make a video comparing them at some point. I think that they're very different, both in, like, approach and in quality. So, yeah, I think it'll be a fun video. But thank you so much for joining us as always, y'all. I'll see you next week. Bye.